Hi, it's Katie Sirianni Bowl, and I'm back with Katie Stories number 12. And I've got the fire on for you because it's a little bit nippy on the island. Yeah, we got some rain. I can't sit out on the balcony forever in the sun. I knew it would come to this. It's okay, so let's get cozy. So, my taglines were Ericka fucking Kane. That was my little alias, or no, what would we call that? Kind of a fun little nickname that my dad gave me after Ericka Kane and all my children. I took my makeup and hair very seriously in high school. Ericka Kane was the villain, the vixen on All My Children, and I would skip out all the time to watch All My Children. And my mom would get so mad. She'd be like, Katie, you're giving up your real day to watch someone and your education to watch someone live their fake day. And I'd be like, and watch it. And then it was funny because a couple years later, while I was in Banff, I had to work days. I lost touch of All My Children. But my mom, when I would be skipping out in high school, as much as she'd complain, then she'd start kind of walking by the TV and she'd be like, oh, she's a real bag. Oh, what's going on with her? Oh, yeah, she's sleeping with her sister's husband and she's pregnant. And I'd start telling her everything. So, of course, flash forward another year or two, not only was my mom addicted to All My Children, my dad was, and my brother, and then they would all watch Young and the Restless. And so when I would come home from Vancouver, they'd all be sitting around the table with the big TV turned watching. Yeah, that was my fault, I guess. So, cheers to Ericka fucking Kane. My mom always said a woman's hair is her crown and glory. So I love hair, and by grade 7, I remember my first curling iron. I would actually run home from school and be flipping a grilled cheese with one hand at the big table, and I'd be curling my hair with the other hand, and then I'd run back down the hill, or bubble back down the hill. I was a chubby kid, but I had to have good hair. That was really important, and it still is. And I think when I finally had to get rid of the big hair, I would say around 94, when my husband and I were just starting to date, I did a modeling course, Charles Stewart Agencies in Vancouver. And the lady just took one look at the big mop of hair and said, "Kay, you really need to get with the times. Your hair is just a little big." So I started going through the process of growing out those big, long pieces up top that would let me become 5'5" without heels. And it all worked out. But I still like volume. I'm always going to do it. So then the next tagline I have is taking on a bully on the bus. Oh, Tweezy, this one's for you. Yeah, this could become like the Katie and Tweezy show. But I got other stories to tell too. So I knew I'd make you smile, Tweezy, with that one. And then maybe we'll end this talking about my other run-in with the popo. I had a picture on my story the other day. Did you see that one? I've got the really big, tall hair. And I've got a Band-Aid on my elbow. And it was funny because one of my Instagram friends said, "Hey, is that a Band-Aid on your elbow?" And I was like, oh my God, you just helped me think of another Katie story. Like a whole story just started over that Band-Aid because I'd kind of, not forgotten about it, but I actually hadn't considered telling it on here. So I will now. So I'm going to get motoring. Oh God, okay. I'm going to tell you the Band-Aid one because it's quicker. When I was in Banff, so I was 18, living in Banff, my best friend and I, Rhonda, and we're still best friends, we decided to go hang out with these new guys, Nelson and Dave. And we went downtown and we were, partying. We came out of the clubs and we saw the shopping basket. And it looked like a really safe ride home. So we hopped inside and the guys were pushing us along and, we were just giggling away. And then all of a sudden the popo's coming up the road and they see us. And they turn on the lights and they do a big U-turn. Well, the guys start to run and they're running with us down the sidewalk and they hit a chunk of asphalt and boom, down went the shopping cart and out came poor Rhonda and I. And I can't remember what I was wearing, but it was enough that my sleeves came flying up as I was trying to save my face from becoming road pizza. And yeah, I skinned my elbow. It wasn't really a big deal. And the police ended up just laughing, saying, "Okay, kids, take the shopping basket back to where you found it." And we said, "Well, actually, it's closer to Safeway now than when we found it back at the bar." And so she let us go. Yay. Okay, that's my only scuffle, other than a couple parking tickets. Actually, it's not, but I'm not going to tell that story. Okay, then the bully on the bus. Tweezy, this one's for you. Do you remember the special bus? It was just a normal city bus, but they called it the special bus. And it would bring us all home from Barsby to Fairview Store. I used to have to walk about 5K to school in the morning. But after school, if my mom had the change, she'd slide it to me and I would catch the bus some days. So Laura and Louise and I were sitting on the bus. I'm thinking I was in grade 9 or 10 because I went to Barsby, so I had to be in grade 9 or 10. And as I mentioned, I was a little bit chubby when I was a teenager. Not a big deal. But back then, wow, there's a lot of shaming about it. Louise and Laura were sort of sitting here. So on the side seat right here, there was a guy sitting there. I just sat next to him, and my friends and I were chit-chatting, and he started being really rude. I didn't know him. I'd never met him. Oh, I want to tell you his name so bad, but I don't know. I always had heard who we beat up, but I never really confirmed it was him. So I'm just going to call him Mike. And he started to immediately verbally assault me and say, you know, why are you sitting with me? Don't sit by me, you fat bitch. And I was like, fuck you. And he just kept, and then he called my friends bitches, and we were really shocked because we weren't doing anything to him. We were just having girl talk, and he just mimicking us and just being mean. So finally, he just, after insulting us and calling me fat like a couple more times, fat bitch, he went and sat on the back of the bus. So as we arrived at the store, Louise said, I'm going to go say something to him. So she goes down towards him at the back of the bus, and she's holding her binders in her arm, and Laura and I are sort of looking at the back of the bus watching. He'd gotten up, and he was sitting at the long bench at the back of the bus. And she said, so, you getting off at this stop? And he was like, no. So she went, good. And she just slammed her binder on his head. He grabbed her so quick, flipped her on the seat, and had his knees on her chest. And she had asthma and a pretty big chest. So he was choking her, like kneeling on her and choking her. And I'm looking at Laura, my friend, going, oh my God, we have to save her. Like, she did this for me. So we ran to the back of the bus. I grabbed a lock of his hair and just started firing shots to his head. I started punching him in the head. And Laura grabbed his ski jacket around his neck and started choking him. And as she dragged him off, I was punching him in the head. The whole bus was going wild. Everybody was screaming. Finally, the bus driver made his way down. We had gotten our friend loose and pulled her off of the seat. And the three of us got off the bus. And I did not know until the next day who that was so rude to us, or that had attacked my friend and we had saved from. And I just got high fives, like all down the hall going, hey, Sarianni, way to go. Nice job, beating up, blah, blah, blah. And as far as I know, he still lives in town and he grew up and had a family. Maybe he just had a really bad day. Maybe he just didn't like chubby girls. I don't know. But there you go. Be nice to everyone, guys. Don't be like that. It was unnecessary. And it made a good story, didn't it? So I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed the fire. I really missed you last week. Our daughter, was in town for reading week from university. And on the Monday, I was with her. We went down to Victoria. She wanted to see where her friend lives in her dorm in her university. And I hung out with the mom. And we were just too busy. I had lots going on. I knew you'd understand. And so that's that. I made it. We'll talk to you next Monday. I love this. I wouldn't want to keep missing you every 2 weeks. And have a wonderful night. And we'll see you then. Bye.